Next year's Olympic Games in Sochi are putting Chechnya in the spotlight. There's worry rebels from the nearby region will try to stage an attack next February. Chechens were behind the latest several big attacks on Moscow and a school hostage-taking in Beslan, where 300 people, many of them children, were killed. Russian President Vladimir Putin has gone to great lengths to stamp out insurgents to ensure the games are safe. But the man he's empowered in Chechnya, a warlord, is accused of torturing his people. So what's the true cost of Putin's deal? The CBC's Margaret Evans traveled to Chechnya to find out.
Bright lights, big city. Not the one you might imagine. This smorgasbord of light pulsing out into an inky night is the Chechen capital of Grozny. And there's more. Religious revival deep into the night. These were the scenes marking the Prophet Muhammad's birthday not long ago at the main mosque, newly built and rivaling the biggest in Europe. Crowds were still lining up well after midnight for a glimpse of holy relics, even apparently a strand of the Prophet's hair. Scenes that would have been unthinkable during the years of Soviet rule.
We are Muslims. We want to pray in our own mosque, and now we are free to have it all, and we're so happy.
In the crowd, they have one man to thank. Ramzan Kadyrov, the warlord imam, also known as the President of Chechnya, or as he reputedly likes to be called, Padishah, Emperor. He rules this republic as if he is one. He has his own personal zoo, a private militia, and a taste for Hollywood celebrities. Flown in for a fee to attend his own birthday parties, all the while promoting piety. Under Kadyrov's rule, Chechnya is becoming ever more religious, stiflingly so, say some. Children now study the Quran at school, at odds with Russia's secular curriculum. Women must wear headscarves and long skirts, both at school and in public workplaces. If they don't, self-appointed morality police will step in. Layla works at one of Grozny's new malls.
I don't want to wear the hijab. I want to be more European and wear what I want.
All this comes under the doting eye of the Russian President Vladimir Putin, a relationship that began with Kadyrov's father, Ahmed, a rebel who fought the Russians before the Kremlin appointed him Chechen leader. Now Putin bestows his patronage on the son, and he's getting something in return. At least he thinks he is. Russia is still fighting an Islamist insurgency based in the Chechen mountain ranges.
Corruption is our coverage.
GREGORY SHVEDOV edits a publication called The Caucasian Knot. He says the nature of the insurgency may have changed, but not its ability to strike.
It's not any more separatism. It's much more religious fight than a fight for specific political state they've been fighting for in the First Chechen War.
Whatever its aims, Ramzan Kadyrov is the man Moscow is counting on to either kill the insurgency or contain it, and he's had some success. 2 of the Chechen rebels on Moscow's most wanted list were killed in a gun battle while we were in country. Brothers accused of launching attacks against government targets, including this apparent suicide bombing. Kadyrov appeared on television soon afterwards.
These 2 were the most dangerous militants out there. Getting them is the best thing that happened in the last year.
He's pledged to cleanse the mountains to strike every last militant off his list. In exchange, he enjoys a steady flow of cash from Moscow, and he's using it to transform the face of Grozny. Skyscrapers now stand in place of what was once a barren moonscape, a city so decimated by war that it drew comparisons to Dresden or Stalingrad after World War II. tempting to think this city, risen from ruin, signifies that peace has come here at long last. Far from it. Beneath the polished stone, there lies an underbelly as dark, as brutal, and as complicated as ever. KHEDA SARATOVA is one of the few human rights activists still working in the open in Chechnya. That means she's a brave woman. The Kadyrov regime's perceived enemies tend to either turn up dead or go missing.
Chechnya is a place where you are not free to speak out. People are afraid to say how things really are.
She's taking us to a village called Asinovskaya, a muted place, like the hopes of its residents. 47 young men have disappeared from here or been arrested by Kadyrov's forces over the past year, accused of joining the rebels in the hills or helping them. These two women fear they won't see their sons again, both in prison for months now without trial. Zina's put her house up for sale, trying to raise money for a lawyer, a bribe, anything she can think of to help her son Lyoma.
Where is the government in all this? Where are the laws that are supposed to help? Why are they ruining these young men's lives?
When a curtain twitches in this town, police tend to arrive a few minutes later, tipped off by a neighbor.
During the war, you could hide from the bombs, but today you don't know who to trust. You're even suspicious of your own colleagues. That's the most frightening thing, worse than during the war.
Mothers in Chechnya have good reason to fear for their children. These two Chechen men bear witness to that, now in hiding in Moscow. Tightly wound, soft-spoken, damaged. Both were arrested by Kadyrov's security forces and held for months in what they describe as torture camps. Adlan says he was taken for giving food to rebels when they demanded it.
They broke every bone in my body. They hung me and electrocuted me. They shot 2 people in front of me. When I confessed, it was to save my life.
Bakr let a friend spend the night, a friend he later found out was a militant.
I blame our current president. It all comes from him, from the top. I so badly want to see my mother and my relatives, but I'm afraid this will happen again. Even in Moscow, I'm afraid to go outside.
In Chechnya, the building goes on, a comic book kingdom being shaped in its ruler's image. The dolls all wear headscarves, and there's a brand new shooting range at the mall. The rule of the gun not in doubt, nor is Kadyrov's strength these days. Vladimir Putin's need for stability, whatever the cost, is stronger than ever, according to regional expert MASHA LIPMAN.
As the Olympics in Sochi draw closer, the dependence on Kadyrov and the importance of the task to keep things stable, to keep them reasonably safe, becomes even stronger. And again, he knows this. He knows this very well.
But all the smoke and mirrors and extravagant celebrations here can't quite hide what's happening behind the bright lights in the big city. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Chechnya.